Hey there, this is Dalton from Standard Capital, and I am here today with the founders of Magic Patterns. What's up, guys?
What's up, Dalton? Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for talking to us today. Maybe to start with, why don't you tell everybody what is Magic Patterns? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Magic Patterns helps software teams go from idea to production, where they can just type anything they want. It uses their existing context to then build an interactive mockup.
So it's an app builder, but specifically for front-end apps. Is that right?
That's right. So right now we only produce front-end code, but we have certain integrations. But a lot of product managers and product designers use us to prototype their ideas. Maybe they're rethinking an onboarding flow or their landing page, and they'll go to Magic Patterns to help them brainstorm and ideate.
I'd love if you could share just the history of the company, how you guys met, how you started working together, all that good stuff.
So Teddy and I met in college. We were roommates in college together, both studied computer science.
You were randomly assigned.
No, at this point, by our senior year, we were very close and friends.
Okay, right.
But we were roommates in college our senior year, and we did a lot of school projects together. One of those school projects was actually a text message analyzer. It was like this consumer idea. Worked on it a bit in school. Then we moved to San Francisco together. We worked as software engineers, worked as front-end engineers, where every single day we were converting Figma designs to front-end code. Decided to apply to YC with this text message analyzer idea that we worked on in school. Got into YC. Our interview was with you. And I remember you gave us great advice, which was, hey, like this text message analyzer thing is really cool, but why don't you do something that you know well, like especially in a business context? And so for us, that was always design tooling.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are experts, I would say. I remember this from the YC interview. You had worked at legit places, Robinhood and LiveRamp, is that right? Yeah, you'd worked at legit places as front-end engineers. And I think, yeah, Robinhood is well known as like pretty well-designed app. And so, yeah, I wanted you guys to play to those strengths, and you did a great job. Yeah. And so then what happened?
So then we did a series of pivots in design tooling. We worked on design token management and a component library editor. And we actually pivoted after YC, where we decided to add AI to what became Magic Patterns, where you could just, again, type anything you want and get back a React component.
When did it really start taking off? It was about a year and a half ago. Like, what was the thing? What was the magic moment where Magic Patterns took off?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to say like what was the exact thing, but I think a series of things happened. One, we kind of nailed down like who our target customers were. So product managers, product designers, website builders, we found to be like the biggest users of Magic Patterns. But then secondly, like the models just got really, really good. That's been huge for us. Yeah, it's funny because we started building this when it was like GPT 3.5. And I remember you would type in like a login page and it'd be a super bare bones, like maybe one button, like one div around it. But now you type in a login page and it's generating a full on like app.
What was the first version that got good? Was it one of the Claude versions, or was it 4.0, or what was it?
Yeah, released on it 3.5.
There you go. Okay.
It was amazing. And also just more folks learning how to use these tools, right? And realizing, what is actually happening under the hood? We're getting code back, and then we're hosting a website for them.
And I'd love if you could share like a case study about your top or most impressive customer and who they are and how they use their product. I think that'd be really helpful.
One of the customers that's very close to my heart is one of the fastest growing fintechs in Australia, uses us, a company called Lendy Group. And they use us to prototype their ideas where maybe they're rethinking their broker onboarding flow or getting a home loan. And they use Magic Patterns to ingest their existing context, so we have all of their components, and then rethink like the product idea.
And how did they find you originally?
It's a completely self-serve where they just signed up and then they invited other members of their team, and now they're one of our very large customers. And it's been super exciting working with them because they're very AI forward, and seeing all of these customers that we have that are really rethinking their product development process in order to move faster.
And for someone that's watching right now that could be a potential customer, how would you describe, the pitch to them? Like why should they use it? What are the features?
Yeah, Magic Patterns, we think, is the easiest way to go from an idea in your head to something tangible. So a lot of folks will, they'll have an idea for a new feature that they want to add to their app. Maybe they're brainstorming like a brand new app. You can basically just in natural language get something tangible that you can share to your users. You can, ask your stakeholders for feedback.
There's some app builders that people are more familiar with. How would you compare your strengths and weaknesses and how you stand out from all these other options?
Yeah, so Magic Patterns, one of the things that's really central to our app as a result of all these pivots in design tooling is that component libraries are a first-class citizen. So you can get your existing context into Magic Patterns, your existing building blocks of your app, your button, your nav bar, your input, and then use those in the designs that you create on our platform.
So one of the things that's impressed me a lot about Magic Patterns is that you're extremely well suited to companies that have an existing code base. And I would contrast that with someone that's starting a brand new project that wants to vibe code the whole thing from scratch. There's tools that can just output some crappy app, the whole thing. You guys are just outputting a React, and it plays very nicely with these existing code bases. Could you give us some more color onto what you're seeing from customers there?
Yeah, we found that, most people already have an existing product, right? You're very rarely starting from scratch. We've seen that AI is actually really good at starting from scratch. When it knows everything,
Yeah.
it's already kind of tailored to its style. But the problem becomes like, right, if you're Lendy, for example, and you already have so much existing product, how do you iterate on it with AI? And so we've spent a lot of time building tooling around importing in your current product, your current styles, any brand context, and helping AI leverage that existing context to generate designs that are actually on brand.
Yeah, that seems really differentiated and particularly useful for bigger customers that have a lot of employees versus people starting from scratch. So from the perspective of someone that might want to work at Magic Patterns, what's it like?
We are a small, lean team that ships really, really fast. We've shipped probably some of the coolest problems, in my opinion. We've shipped things like an infinite canvas where you can generate designs side by side. You can paste these around. Imagine like an AI native Figma, if you will. We've also shipped things like an HTML to a React Chrome extension. So you can go to any page on the internet and grab a snippet and convert it into React code, basically. That's editable by AI. So if you're an engineer interested in front-end design, anything in between, we'd love to chat with you since I think we're solving some of the most cutting-edge problems there.
We're very excited to be literally reinventing how software is made. Lots of our customers are telling us, like, this has completely changed my product development workflow. And we feel very proud to be actively contributing to how people are rethinking their software development lifecycle.
And one thing I always like to ask folks is, you guys are in the market building, you're seeing what customers are doing with your product. What are your predictions of what the future of software development looks like? Will there still be software engineers in the future? Is everyone just going to be vibe coding all software, right? Like you guys are creating this future. So what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I think software is getting really, really easy to make. So, you have tools like Cursor, Lovable, all these tools that make it really easy for anyone to write code. We do think that there's still going to be some gap in that not everyone will be able to build delightful software where the bar is just increasing. Even today, we see that the bar for design, the bar for UX is just rising. And I think that's where Magic Patterns really lives, is that we want to solve that problem where people can build delightful experiences. We want to enable people to have taste, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is that with the democratization of home recording, anyone could put out studio quality music, but there isn't more good music being made. And that it seems like the bottleneck with technology is taste. And so to the extent you can enable people with good taste to make software, I think there's always room for that.
Yeah, the bar only gets higher, we think, as more and more software gets built.
And then look, you guys are a really special company in that you were profitable and you basically bootstrap. You had the money from YC Demo Day and the money from YC, but for the most part, you didn't need to raise, and yet you still chose to do this fundraising round with us at Standard Capital. I'd love if you could share some of your thinking around why that was the right decision for you.
Absolutely. As really to raise our ambition. We hit $1 million in ARR over the summer as just two people. We had no employees, and we felt like we were on the launch pad in a rocket ship with the keys in the ignition, ready to turn them on. And we decided, let's do this. Let's turn it on. Let's hire. Since we raised, we've already hired 3 folks, 2 engineers and a customer success person. Really excited to raise the bar internally, but then also as a result of being in Standard with the other portfolio companies that we get to work with. We love that part of YC, like group office hours, and very excited about it.
Well, we're so excited to have you be part of Standard Capital. Thanks for talking to us today.
Thanks, Dalton.
Thanks, all.